Commissioner Rob had to step out. He's got an issue he's dealing with, and so he said to go ahead and move forward.
All right, based on the rifle resident quota changes from the cabs, we made those our best commensurate changes to the muzzleloader and archery, whether it was a 2011 quota recommendation or Lincoln County used the array. We made those changes. So we had changes for 031 through 051, same as last year for 31, 32, middle of the road for Sheldon because that was the rifle recommendation. Last year's quota for 3435, 4143, and then 25% less of last year's quota recommendation for 051.
Last year's quota.
Quota, yes. And then dropping down to 111, they recommended quota recommendations from last year, so we went with those, and that was through 131. And then the rifle quota recommendation for Area 14 was a 78% increase from last year's quota, so we used that 78% increase to get 34 for Area 14. And then we dropped down to 202 through 206. There was a separate recommendation from Mineral County to raise it to 5 from 3. Same with Esmeralda County wanting to raise their muzzleloader tag quota from 3 to 6 in 211, 212. And then we're using Lincoln County's quota array change based on what they did with the rifle, with 30 in Area 22, 20 in Area 23, and 3 in Area 24. And that is the muzzleloader changes, dropping down to the archery. We're using the 2011 quota for 031, 32, splitting the difference between 10 and 22 and going with 16 for 033. 2011 quota recommendations for 034, 35, 41, 43. 25% reduction in the quota from last year for 051. Dropping down to 111 to 113 using last year's recommendations. That's through Area 13. And then again applying the approximate 78% increase from last year's quota for Area 14 to get 171. Washoe and Douglas County recommended quota increases for the early late archery from 6 to 12 and 7 to 10. And again for Lincoln County's recommendation using the quota array change of 86, 32, and 14 for areas 22, 23, and 24.
Okay, so based on what I see is, did you take into account all of the comments that were on this then? So they're all in there?
Tank.
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly ask if there's anybody's comments that
Okay.
didn't make it, but we thought we got them all.
I'm gonna try to move it along, and I'm gonna actually do muzzleloader and archery together then. And so I'm gonna go ahead and invite the county advisory boards. If you've watched that process, does any county advisory board have an issue with what the changes are? They're basically, in line with the changes on the 1331 any legal weapon hunt. Everybody okay? Okay, then I'll go ahead and bring it back to the commission. Any comments from the commission on the changes? Commissioner Rain.
We should go with that. However, we, still messed up in Area 14. Should go with the County Advisory Board's original recommendation, which would be down longbow hunt, 96, muzzleloader, 20. Move to approve the changes with those two, well, as presented with those two modifications.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion. So now we have a motion. Let me ask, that may have been premature, but okay, we got a motion. We're going to hold on to that for a second. Any comments from the commission, the remaining commission? Any amendments to the motion?
Vote and go on. Vote and revote.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to approve the muzzleloader and archery hunts as proposed, as reproposed by the department, as you see on the screen there, with changes proposed by Commissioner Rain.
Eureka Cab.
By the Eureka Cab for units 141 through 145. And do you want to just go ahead and state those again?
96 for longbow archery and 20 for muzzleloader.
Okay. So does everybody understand the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
Aye.
Motion fails. Do we have another motion? Go ahead.
Okay. Just dab out of here. We'll move to approve muzzleloader hunt 1371 and longbow archery hunt 1341 for mule deer, with the changes noted on the screen. Should I go through the whole list here? Or is that clear enough for everyone?
I think, I know the department's got it, and I think all the
There's a
cabs,
change to that.
yeah, the cabs, we're okay with it, so I think we're okay with it.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any additional comment from the commission? Seeing none, and I already went out to the public and to the cabs, right? Everybody okay with it? Okay. And then I'll go ahead and call for a vote for the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion passes 6-3. Okay, now, I think what we talked about is, all we have left are the non-resident hunts, and I believe also don't we have to do something with regard to the
Very end.
landowner tags?
And page 25, very end.
Just one little hunt, if you could take it separately, the antlerless depredation hunt for the Baker Ranch, 1101.
Great hunt, by the way.
Okay, that is next. Okay, so that's a proposed quota of 30. Okay, so did we get any comments from the cabs on that one? Would doubt that we would, right? Okay, I'll go ahead and take that out to the public and to the cabs. Any comments on the resident mule deer analyst and illegal western depredation hunt number 1101 in unit group 114, 115, quota 30? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. Any comment from the commission? Okay, seeing none, I have a motion. Go ahead.
Move to approve resident mule deer antlerless any legal weapon depredation hunt 1101 as proposed by the department. Second.
Okay, I have a motion in 2 seconds. Any additional comments from the commission? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so now on the non-resident hunts, what we talked about was allowing the department to go ahead and make the calculation based on the 10%. And do we need to round up or do anything? Do you have a standard policy?
It'll be 90-10 split that'll be indexed off the changes that we've made the main basis will be the 1331 hunt.
Okay,
So everything should follow that, maintaining the 90-10 split and accommodating the 1235 non-resident guided hunt quota.
okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and take that out to the county advisory boards and the public. Any comments? Mr. Sefton, come on up.
I would just mention the minimum of 2
Oh, minimum of,
in your motion.
okay.
Tony covered everything but the minimum.
Okay, so we have that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and bring it back to the commission. Any comments from the commission on the all of the non-resident hunts?
I thought we voted on that already.
No, we haven't.
We didn't put that on the
No.
original motion?
No.
No.
No, we decided to do the non-resident separately after we got done with the resident. Okay, any comments?
I
Okay.
move to approve.
Okay, then I'm looking for a motion.
You got it.
Okay, no, I don't. Let's get this minimum of 2 quota down.
Get what now?
Can I help state the motion,
Yes.
perhaps?
Yes.
The motion to approve to include a minimum of 2 in any area to represent a direct 90-10 split directly proportional to the units and unit and weapon classes in hunts in the resident 1331. We'll go to, of course, to the non-resident 1331, and so on with muzzleloader and archery. And I would just have one question of the department, and that would be in those units where a quota of 2 would normally be decreased, where would we be putting those extra very few tags? You would proportionally put them, if you're modeled, by doing that percentage, you come up with a 1. You would put you would want me to instruct you to put those
To take them from
to
somewhere?
give those extra couple tags to reflect a
Yeah.
90-10 split where?
We'd take them from an area that,
A larger quota.
yeah,
To give them to a larger quota,
take them from the larger quota to create.
to take them
the
from a
two.
larger quota to create that too, from some of the larger areas.
Yeah.
Is that the motion?
That's the motion.
Okay.
Second
I
that
need-
motion.
Why don't you second it?
Whatever.
You made that. It's been moved and seconded by us.
And
We're not
Commissioner
making
Rain,
watches here.
Okay.
just to be clear, and that would include the adjustment for the non-resident guided 1235.
And that would include that adjustment for the non-resident.
The second, agree?
Second. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion by the commission? Everybody understand the motion? Department understand the motion? Got it?
That's a good
got
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now, do we need to do the,
Last page.
Absolutely. We screwed that up before.
And it's just the percentage, since we don't have everything calculated, just support, 1.5% is the maximum
Uh-huh,
that you're allowed to choose for the total antelope and deer tags. So the 1.5% of the total, the antelope and deer tags would be the total compensation tags for antelope and deer.
okay.
So just if you choose that maximum percentage, once we calculate everything, we'll apply the percent that you approve to, and
Okay,
Up to 1.5.
very good. I'll go ahead and take that out to the public and the cabs. Any issue with the public and the cabs on the landowner compensation tags? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. Any comments from the commission on that? Commissioner Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one question with that system. You cannot exceed those tags. If you guys ever run into a jam, or have you ever gotten to the limit?
Not to my knowledge. Is
we were
Maureen still here?
close,
Yeah. we
but
could've,
we could maybe have Maureen Hollinger come up. This year, I don't think,
I just got deer-lighted.
Make a motion.
but the one thing that I could add is at some point in the future, we really need to have the determination of the 2012 compensation tag total to be determined the previous year. I mean, the counts that are made for the 2012 compensation tags are made in 2011. But yet, we index the maximum that you can issue in the current year based on the new deer herd and counts that were already done. So there is the potential, if there's a major drop in the population from one year to the next, that it would come up short, and then we've never,
February, you'll straighten us out on that. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
well, we probably need to do it before then.
August, September,
Yeah.
later.
Mike, last year was the closest we ever came, according to Maureen. We came within a few tags. And this year, we'll be fine. We'll have
Definitely.
cushion in there.
But it'd be better to get it up a year ahead in advance, so we're not always trying to hope that we get enough tags for all the committed paperwork and applications that have already been counted and everything else.
Everything's counted in 2011. Everybody's expecting to get a tag, but you don't even set that quota until 2012. So there's a possibility of actually issuing more packets than tags available. Potential exists.
That answers my question.
We're good this year, but we need to clean it up.
Make a motion, Pete.
He's getting tagged.
So the motion would be the percentage. You want to use the maximum?
Move to approve the 1.5 percentage for either sex hunts 1115, 1215, 2115, and 2215.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. I am going to have to catch an airplane. I would love to stay the night, but my mother's in the hospital in ICU, and I need to really get home. So anyway, Commissioner, Vice Chairman Rob will finish the last agenda item, which is just, which should be fairly short.
Commission meetings and public
Yep.
comment.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay. We're moving on to item 17, future commission meetings. Director Mayor, for possible action.
Just that we're scheduled June 22nd and 23rd for Elko. If there was any reason to change the venue, this would be the time to do it.
Okay, and then there has been some discussion about a possible field trip the day before to go out and look at the proposed wild horse sanctuary.
That came up, yes, yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
well,
work
certainly.
with staff on that through the Public Lands Committee and see if we can get something set.
Okay.
And that's for the commissioners that can make it, and hopefully we all
Right,
can.
and we'll have to notice it so that it's not an open meeting law violation,
Yeah.
et cetera, so.
Okay, this is for possible action. Any public comment, anybody? Can't hear me? We'll wait for the door to close too. Is there any public comment on future commission meetings? Bring it back to the commission.
Just, I would just ask, we talked about the OHV committee, if we could get a little more information on their activities and where they're, just an update on how they're doing. A little more information on how they're moving along. Sorry, Maureen. You and Kim, right?
I think we have an OHV commission board member in here, and maybe he can give us an update at a future commission
Thank you,
meeting.
Darren.
Okay, this is listed for possible action. Do we need to take any action? Okay. Item 18, public comment. I'm not going to go through the cards. Go ahead, Bob.
For the record, Bob Bruner. I was called out of the Bear Subcommittee meeting before I was able to make comment. Catherine and Commissioner McNitch were working on some very excellent things with the urban bears or the conflict bears, and I wasn't able to comment on that. They had some very good things to say about how to deal with that. We don't have a good plan. Sportsmen and women are paying for all of that enforcement and collection and everything. So I would like, to get back to Catherine, then I really appreciate what she said, and I do think there's things that we can do to bring those people, bring their money into their problem on those urban bears in Tahoe. Commissioner Rainey was also asking for some data on this thing. These recommendations for deer wouldn't be so radical if we didn't have such a radical year last year when all of the cabs and the public and the these folks were ignored. So if it was at a static level, this wouldn't have been much. But here's the data. If you look at the late 70s, we had the same buck-to-doe ratio that we have now. We had the same population. As soon as that buck-to-doe ratio dropped into the 80s, the populations exploded. Okay, so there's some weather in there too, but I mean, here's the data right here. So we've been seeing no deer. We've been losing our hunter success rate. We're doing the same thing. So what these guys are doing is like, let's do something different. And you know what? Here it is right here. We've already got our study on what happens when you reduce that buck-to-doe ratio. Populations explode. Everybody sees more deer. Everybody shoots bigger deer. And that's on here. Late 70s to right now is the same numbers.
Thank you. Tommy?
Tom Castanelli with Humboldt County. First of all, I've been doing this process for 33 years, and I realize you guys have one of the toughest jobs around on this day. And I compliment the department for the input they put in and the way they've worked with the counties this year. It seemed to be a lot smoother, and I hear there's no social side to this issue, and there's definitely a social side, and it also affects the biological side. And the social side is success rates and things like that, which when they drop, like we've showed today, there may be a problem on the biological side. So that issue was brought out in quite a few areas today, and some areas didn't have the input to, or the stats to show where they were doing that. And that's the commission's position to weigh that and figure it out. And I think you guys did an excellent job on that. And I wouldn't want to sit up there and have that on my shoulders. Trust me, I understand. I've seen it in the past just as bad and maybe even worse at times. And it's really hard decisions, but I applaud the way the system worked today. It took a long time, but I think we got the right things done. Thank you all, and thank the department for what they're contributing.
Gerald Went.
Gerald Lynn. Do you have the authority to get me the data that I talked about before where they counted 40,000 deer? Because they took the total deer population divided by 3, as Dr. Wasley stated, and so that'd be around 40,000 deer. Do you have the authority to get that data for me? I know you won't answer it. I just want to congratulate this commission, all the commissioners who voted for this massive increase in deer and who participated in one of the greatest catastrophic mismanagement of deer in Nevada's history. And as Mike Cox will tell you, that we had the same thing happen in the late 70s. The commission did that, and we lost all of our deer. They miscalculated it, and it took years and years for the deer recovery, and you're going to see this. And as I already proven with my prior testimony about NDOW makes decisions for money, NDOW is due to make greater than $3 million from this deer tag increase, not including elk, antelope, and sheep increases. That's before you made some slight changes, so it'll be a little bit less. This includes a federal match, but does not include more license fees. The resident tags will generate $1,713,824 by my figures. The non-resident tags, 10%, will generate $1,133,055, and the doe tags will generate $179,280. The grand total is $3,026,160. Tell me it isn't about money. There is an incentive for NDOW to sell tags. And I wish Commissioner Macbeth hadn't left, because at the commission meeting yesterday, he talked about a commissioner crossing the line. And I think the letter that he wrote to all the cabs, trying to influence them, and the public opinion crossed over the line. And an open meeting law violation by him will be filed, and you can relay that to him as a vice chairman.
I will. Who's next?
What'd you say?
Dr. Moldy, come on up.
Mr. Chairman, Don Moldy, Reno. I wanted to use my 3 minutes to complain about the 3-minute rule. No, I'm kidding. 3 minutes tends to promote antagonism and diversity rather than consensus, because what are you going to do in 3 minutes? You're going to make your best or your worst argument as hard as you can, and the other guy's going to do the same. And I am probably the worst offender, and Mel Belding is probably the loudest offender of the 3-minute rule. But regardless of that, I use that as a little joke to simply say that a way around the 3-minute thing that works for me are these committees that the commission has, and the Bear Committee and the Trapping Committee, 2 recent great examples of that. And I thank the commission for having these committees, because the way at least Dave runs his, and I'm sure I missed the heritage thing, but these committees give a chance for real dialogue. The 3-minute period doesn't. So I encourage the commission to continue along this vein, because it really does help to get stuff out on the table, and the 3-minute thing is kind of a joke, really. But thanks, appreciate all the work you do.
Mel?
I just gave that to you to protect yourself from all the bears you're talking about.
I got a bird book for that.
Knee deep in bears.
Need some keys?
Mel Belding, Washoe County. If I could, through the chair, Mr. Wasley, you gonna get a bonus off these new tags that we put out here today?
No, sir.
Mike, are you gonna get a big bonus because we gave more tags?
I seriously doubt it.
Yeah, I know
Salary
the
is
answer
what
is
it
no.
is.
And I think the point that I really want to make is this. You know, it's just not right. It's just not right. And somebody's got to say something to when a past commissioner, chairman no less, comes up here and says that it's money driven. Because I'll guarantee you, I'd be the first one to say no. It just, you know, it's just heartbreaking. These guys are professionals. They do their job every day, and they do it for a little bit of pay. And to say that it's money driven, you know, it drives me to where I got to say something. And to Dr. Moldy, you know, I don't hardly ever go over 3 minutes. I'd give him my extra 2 minutes if he wants to take it. Thank you.
Who else? Do we have any more public comment? Before we close today, I just want to recognize what happened in this room this afternoon. We gave out record number of sheep tags, record number of probably elk, antelope, everything else. A lot of opportunity for Nevada sportsmen was accomplished in this room today, and that's, I think, our main goal, protecting a resource and providing opportunity, and I think that was put forward today, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So with that.
One more thing then in that case, and that would be, except for the deer herd. I concur. Deer herd was a travesty in what's going to happen to it. But we'll know in a couple of years. Thank you.
We're adjourned. Thank you.